I just got back from a 2-week whirlwind trip through Hawaii and Japan where I visited 3 islands and 4 cities. And this is what I had as my kind of go-to day bag. But I feel like everything that I planned on this trip really would make sense no matter what trip you were taking, because all of this is the basic kind of stuff that you're gonna want when going around anywhere. Every day I would either go out with the big purse, or I would take this little purse and then a tote bag. And I always had in the big purse or in the tote bag a little bag that could be used for both purchases and for garbage, because in Japan you don't see a lot of public garbage cans. So when I was using my little bag, and I never went less than this gear setup. No matter what, when traveling internationally, I think it's good to have your passport with you. If you have your passport with you when you're shopping, then you can use your passport to get the tax-free certificates then and there. If you don't have your passport, you can't do that. Of course, it's risky because potentially you could lose your purse, but I've talked about that in other videos. Next, I am always going to have a Visa and an American Express, because different places take different cards, but American Express is great because they don't have the international transaction fees. And then of course, I'm going to have local currency. You have heard me talk about this before, but I love Laneige. I think for travel, especially where you're going to be super dehydrated, that's going to be a fabulous option to keep your lips moisturized. And you've heard me talk about this, the Clinique Black Honey. I think that is the best lipstick that is the most universally flattering for everyone, everywhere. I have been finding that this Laura Geller is my go-to lipstick. So this is another one that I think might be holy grail. Of course, I'm always gonna have some bobby pins and a decorative clip. That way, if it gets super rainy and your hair gets all wet, you can pull your hair up and still have a little bit of glam. Of course, you always need to be ready to take that little airplane bath, so I'm gonna have some alcohol wipes and a little body wipe, and just in case, you can always zhuzh in the moment on the go. I'm gonna be touching subway rails and elevator buttons and ticket booths and all sorts of things. I always like to have some hand sanitizer. And then of course, I always like to have a power bank. I like this one specifically because it comes with the cord. Potentially, I might also travel with this and an adapter to plug it into international outlets. On days when we were gonna be out longer, I would either put these items in my big pink purse, or we had a little tote bag and I would put these items in the tote bag. The benefit to the tote bag over a backpack is that it is super lightweight and it can be folded up and it can be stuffed into any purse. So you can use this as you're out and about if you decide to go shopping and it's not gonna take up a bunch of bulk. A notebook and a pen, hand wipes, a mosquito repellent. Then we always had a little portable umbrella. And from the hotel at our first stop, we just grabbed a little plastic bag so we could stuff the umbrellas in that plastic bag. We picked up some sunscreen in Japan. It is the best sunscreen I have ever tried. We ended up buying like 5 bottles of it. It was so good. I always had my little pill pack. So you're gonna have your tummy pills, you're gonna have your cold pills, you're gonna have your ibuprofen and your Tylenol and a few Band-Aids. I ended up picking up a little fan as we were traveling. Now we had purchased these fans, but one of them ended up giving up the fight as we were going about our trip. And I found that I actually liked this fan better. And then of course, Tums and a little security birdie.